understand why we lift our hands and sing praises. And people can't comprehend that when we dance we're not crazy. See, maybe they don't realize that sitting high is the Father. And this is what we were created for, nothing less or more but to worship you. And I just wanna say that yours is the best love that I've ever had. And I just wanna say that I think it's only fair that we give it back. I love you. I love you. Just as surely as I know my name, I know one thing I'll never.
Hey, this is Safina, and you are watching A King's Love Convos. The devil made me do it. Okay, many times we blame the devil for, especially us deep Christians, we blame the devil for us making poor decisions, and we just say, oh, well, the devil made me do it, and then the devil's busy, and oh, Lord, the devil. But what many of us don't realize is that the devil can't make us do anything. That is out of his jurisdiction. He doesn't have the power to do that. The only thing that he can do is he can pressure us to sin. If you look back to the story of Adam and Eve, the serpent didn't force the fruit down Eve's throat. He didn't force her to sin. What he did was he made her question whether or not what God said was the truth. And so remember this, the devil will always make you question what God already made clear. So if you just look at Genesis 1, just the whole tone of the serpent was, you know, did God really say that? Like, did God really tell you not to eat of that tree or that apple or whatever the fruit was? Did God really tell you that? And so in our lives, a lot of times the way the devil shows up, first of all, we think the devil is this big red character with a pitchfork and, you know, who has flames coming out of his ears. The devil is a spirit, and he speaks into our minds. And so a lot of times what he would say is, oh, well, did God really say that, you know, you're not supposed to be having sex till marriage? Did God really say that was a sin? Because, you know, God knows that we're human, and we, you know, we have feelings, and we're sexual beings. So like I said before, the devil always makes you question what God already made clear. One of the things that I wrote on Facebook, I talk a lot on Facebook. I think social media is a great ministering tool, so I choose to use it. And one of the things that I said was, things don't just happen. It always starts off with a small seed. It starts off with sending text messages that you know you weren't supposed to be sending. It starts off with stalking that married man's page because you thought he was fine. It starts off with entertaining that person who you knew God was warning you of. And the things that you think are harmless are exactly what the devil will use to draw you further and further away from Christ, until you're in a situation where you're wondering, how the heck did I get here? Don't wait until you're butt naked in the bed with someone to want to resist temptation. Nip it in the bud from the very beginning. Focus on God, stay prayed up, and just because temptation knocks doesn't mean you have to answer. And so basically what that means is that a lot of times we often write things off as not being a big deal. Whether it's, you know, sending that text message to that dude that you know you have no business entertaining. It starts off with you watching pornography. It starts off with little things that you think are not that big of a deal. And what happens is that we start to incubate sin, and it grows and it grows and it grows. And it also starts off with the music. I mean, technically in the Bible doesn't talk about, you know, thou shalt not listen to Trey songs or thou shalt not listen to Beyonce, but words produce images. And so if I'm explaining to you a certain scenery and I'm like, yeah, you know, the other day I went to the park and there was this big 10-foot oak tree, and then next to the oak tree was this beautiful garden with different colored flowers, and then next to this garden was a bench, and I'm describing this beautiful scenery. Based on my words, you're producing an image in your mind. So when you're listening to music, and when you're listening to, you know, all of this music, and let's just be honest, 99.9% of mainstream music, secular music, is about bending it over, hitting that, selling drugs, killing people. What happens is you're listening to it over and over again, and it's producing images in your mind. So then you wonder why, after you listen to Trey's songs, you have this urge to have sex. You have this urge, you have all of these images of what you want a man to do to you, because it starts off with the little things that we think aren't a big deal. So I encourage you to just, you know, this is not a video to try to tell you what to do, because we're all adults, but in this Christian walk, if we say we're living for Christ and we say we are trying to live this thing right, we need to get rid of the small things that we don't think is a big deal and take accountability for the things that we do, and not be so quick to blame the devil, because to be honest with you, a lot of times it's not the devil, it's us. Thank you for watching, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.
Let them use you.
All right, let them use you.
I've been around women that I think are beautiful, and they don't know God, and I'm instantly not attracted to you anymore because of not having that, you know. So it's a balance of having both.